Welcome to a Friday Creature Guide live stream. It's going to be bears, bears, and more bears with some mountain lions. So let's get into these guys. From valleynewslive.com, bear sightings prompt warnings in Valley City and on Grand Forks AFB. So let's take a look into where this is occurring. Forks Air Base, actually, two separate bear sightings in the area prompted warnings from officials on June 13th. On Grand Forks Air Force Base, a black bear was spotted at the intersection of Jones and Steen in the morning hours. They later posted that they had the bear contained near the golf course area behind the North Spark Defense Lab on Alert Avenue. They said that the bear had been contained but is not secured. They asked residents to please use situational awareness and vigilance during the ongoing situation with that bear. Valley City Police Department also warned of a black bear sighting in their town, including a picture of the bear around 4th Avenue Southwest and Riverview Drive. So I still don't know exactly where this is occurring. I'm guessing maybe some part of the Midwest, could be in the South, so maybe the Missouri area. They added that if you see a bear or any wildlife in the area, do not approach it. Okay. Is there anything else? Okay.
Is there a video on it?
No, let's hope it's not. Um, I've got a bad feeling it's showing picture. Yep, that's it. Okay, well, that was unfortunate. Still have no idea where this is occurring. Okay, let's go to the next article. From KFYRTV.com, black bear spotted near Pembina Gorge. In Cavalier County, North Dakota, a black bear was spotted on June 7th near Pembina Gorge. They're not often mentioned with the state, more of in South Dakota, especially within the Black Hills of the western part of the state. Dave and Derek Larson have a cabin near Pembina Gorge outside of Walhalla, North Dakota. For years, they've known bears were in the area, but never saw one in person until Saturday. Past experiences involving seeing one on a game camera and a bear damaging a shed near their camera. That's interesting. There used to be brown bears within North Dakota, but, they are on their way back. Um, they've been spotted in eastern Montana in, like, past 3 years. So let's see if, we actually have some footage. I'm guessing this is probably a younger male that's roamed through. He could have come in from, maybe some part of Minnesota. Especially in the northern region, northeastern region, is there's a dense population of black bears within the state. Minnesota has somewhere around 18 to 20,000 black bears, and they're pretty much colonizing even the southern edge of the state as well, so past Minneapolis.
What is with the zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out?
I'm guessing I don't know when this was taken, maybe it's the spring, so he's probably looking for maybe bird eggs, going after small rodents, likely not going after any berries in this situation. Okay, let's go to the next article. From apnews.com, Seattle NHL team's mascot has a close encounter with a brown bear during a video shoot in Alaska. Hmm. So let's see what occurred here. Seattle Kraken for John Hayden and the team's blue-haired troll mascot had a close call with the brown bear during a promotional video shoot in Alaska. Hayden and the mascot named Boy were on a fly fishing outing in Katmai National Park as part of a trip promoting youth hockey when the bear approached. Video released by the team shows. Um, this is over in the northern part of the Kodiak Archipelago within southern Alaska. So you have, I think, somewhere around 1,800 brown bears within this area, all being the Kodiak subspecies. So some individuals reaching over 1,400 pounds. I think the fattest that they were mentioning, at least for Fat Bear Week last year, was a 1,300-pound male. but they can become larger. So let's see. Knee deep in a shallow river, they wore waders and other fly fishing gear. Hayden had been fishing. Okay, what does this have to do? Okay. The bear charged toward the mascot, splashing water, but turned away before making contact as Hayden, Boy, and the film crew waded back to shore through a gentle current. Brown bears commonly feast on salmon in the Brooks River in Katmai National Park. There's also a wide range of different rivers that run through the area. It's just Brooks River is where that famous waterfall um, occurs and where you see a large number of bears congregating. So let's see what else happened. Let's see. Okay, let's see what occurred here. Hopefully it's not a picture. Oh, oh, wow. Okay. No, I didn't realize this. Sheesh. No, there's got to be more. Please tell me there's more. You know, so it just decided to cruise on over. Wonder if it's a curious female. Yeah, I'm guessing that's a female. She looks like she might weigh some around 500 pounds or so. That was a close one with them, though. That's funny. Okay, over to the next article. After living alongside humans for millennia, these Italian brown bears have evolved to become less aggressive. Let's see, let's take a deeper look. Okay, researchers found genetic differences that likely resulted from humans killing aggressive bears, leaving docile individuals to breed and pass along their genes to offspring. So I'm guessing this is occurring over in the Marasican brown bears over in central Italy. There's a very small population, like it says, somewhere around 50 to 60 individuals, but that hasn't changed in at least 7 or 8 years. I'm wondering if they haven't had a recent population estimate, which is odd considering the low number. Apennine brown bears have been living alongside humans in central Italy since at least the era of the Roman Empire. They've been existing in the region for thousands of years. I mean, Roman Empire ended like 400 AD. This prolonged proximity to people seems to have affected the isolated creature's genes, causing the animals to become less aggressive than other brown bears. The findings are one of the latest examples of how humans can affect wild critters such as garbage eating urban raccoons developing shorter snouts and feeder visiting hummingbirds evolving longer and larger beaks. That's interesting. I didn't hear about that when it came to the raccoons and them evolving shorter snouts. So they're becoming pugs? Oh, great. The hummingbirds, how many people are using hummingbird feeders? I don't recommend it because the supplemental feed is just not very healthy for the hummingbirds. There are also different species of hummingbirds with longer beaks. And I wonder if they're confusing that. This is a Smithsonian magazine, so it could be biased. Known as Apennine or Marsican brown bears, the shaggy creatures have lived in Italy's Apennine Mountains for generations. Previous research suggests the subspecies diverged from other European brown bears between 2,000 and 3,000 years ago. Okay, so that's around the Bronze Age, and has remained completely isolated for at least the past 1,500 years. Oh, okay. Well, that's I didn't know. That's interesting. That's very recent. Largely due to the spread of agriculture and increasing human density in the region. Today, about 50 individuals are estimated to remain in the wild. Over time, the isolation and closeness to humans seem to have changed the bears inside and out. Researchers have noticed that Italian bears have smaller bodies, unique head and facial features, and more docile attitudes compared with their counterparts living elsewhere in Europe. as well as in North America and Asia. Scientists behind the new study compared complete sets of genetic instructions or genomes from 13 Apennine brown bears with those from 9 Slovakian, so over from Slovakia. That's interesting. I would think they would have obtained some genetics from bears by nearby Slovenia, which is just east of northeastern Italy, and 15 North American brown bears. Okay, so this sounds like they're trying to see how distantly related they were. The analysis revealed several genetic variants associated with reduced aggressiveness in the Apennine bears. These genetic differences likely resulted from humans killing more aggressive bears over time. The researchers suggest leaving calmer individuals to breed and pass along their genes to their offspring. Well, apparently, there's also a mitochondrial um, problem with this specific population of brown bears. So it's not just the docileness that's occurring. Also, how inbred are these bears in this specific region? Whether intended or not, humans selected for less aggressive bears, which resulted in population-wide genomic changes. Human wildlife interactions. I don't know what that has to do with the genes. The scientists also found evidence of reduced genetic diversity and increased inbreeding among the Apennine brown bears, which was not surprising given the population's long history of isolation. Inbreeding and low genetic diversity can be problematic as they tend to make animals more vulnerable to genetic defects that can affect their health and survival. Despite the extreme drop in genomic variation, the bear's isolation and subsequent behavior related genetic changes has allowed the animals to persist in a human dominated landscape for millennia. Even when pervasive genomic erosion has impacted a small, isolated wild population, genetic adaptations can play a crucial role in reducing the extinction risk. The findings could have broader implications for efforts to protect and bolster the small population of Apennine brown bears. I don't know why they haven't brought in more brown bears from other parts of Eastern Europe to this region. This isn't a new thing. And that goes for other populations in different areas of Western Europe. But a big part of it is people in the area do not want the bears. So let's see. Our results highlight the needs. No, it's being repetitive. Is that it? Uh, wait. So what exactly happened? I don't know if we found anything new. I mean, Apennine brown bears, yeah, they're kind of I'd say they're much less aggressive than bears over in northern Italy, which have attacked people. But they're also ones that have come in from Slovenia. Brown bears from Eastern Europe are a bit more aggressive. That tends to happen when you start feeding them chips and then you don't give them the chips. They get angry. Anyway, let's go to the next article. So, from Pendarao River Valley, cougars growing accustomed to people. Okay, well, I wouldn't call this new, but they definitely have been showing a lot more boldness towards people in previous decades. Well, this looks like a healthy individual. He's probably getting a health checkup. I think it's a he. This one of the cougars, Bart George, a biologist with the Kalispel tribe, says was used in a study of hazing the big cats with hounds. George found the cougars moved away from hounds, but not people. The cat is under anesthesia and is being collared and released. That is interesting. It'll run away from the hounds, which it's much more powerful than, but not humans. Study shows cats move away from hounds, not people. Okay, George has experience getting close to the big cats. He was part of a 4-year study published in November that involved approaching GPS collared cougars with a loudspeaker. He sometimes got as close as 10 meters or less than 30 feet. 10 meters is 33 feet. It's a little unnerving getting that close. A lot of times you know where they are, but don't see them. It's a little unnerving when they're looking at you, but you don't see them. Lance Gibson also knows about having a cougar too close. 5 or 6 years ago at about 10 a.m., he was changing the battery in a vehicle at his property about a mile up the mountain from Ione. There was a compressor running, and he was listening to an audiobook when he saw chickens run through the garden. He turned around and saw a cougar. I thought he'll see me and run off, but the cat didn't. Instead, he got into a low crawl and started moving towards him. Thank God I had a gun on me. When the cat got about 12 feet away from him, the retired detective shot the animal in the chest. Sheesh, that's close. Um, the animal jumped in the air. Oh, Gibson shot what he estimates was about a 200-pound cat several more times. Wow, that's quite remarkable. And that's a big cougar, 200 pounds. They can become larger, but wow, or that's around what, 95 kilograms. The cougar ran off. Gibson said he wished he had a rifle with him. His 40 caliber handgun never looked so small. Felt like it was a 22. Conflicts between cougars and humans or livestock and pets have been a problem in Penn Oral County for years. You should turn that into thousands of years. The second week of January, a cougar killed a pet on the east side of the Penn Oral River off Sandwich Road. I like that name. The Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife reported their website that tracks cougar, wolf, and grizzly bear sightings and interactions with people and their animals. The cougar was tracked and killed by Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife. Yes, yeah. In November, two other cats were killed. Wow. One after it killed livestock, and another after a person reported a safety risk with a cougar. Um, okay. And Oral County Commissioner Brian Smiley of Meadowline had two of his family's goats and a pig killed by cougars in separate incidents by different cougars. The goats were killed within 100 feet of Smiley's house. These two cats were also lethally removed by the Washington Department's contracted hunters. Geez, there are a lot of instances. I think Penn Oral County might be situated within eastern Washington, which is where the Colville National Forest is. There's many predators within the region. I believe there's even probably certain packs of wolves.
I would assume, though, if you shot a cougar in the chest with a 45, it's not running off.
Yeah, it's just he panicked and just continuously fired. But yeah, that's I would think he would have killed it. Smiley has lived in the county all his life. It is clear to me that there has been a steady increase in not just the population of cougars, but also in their interactions and conflicts with humans over the last 20 years. Let's see. He blames the increase on 1996 Citizens Initiative that banned hunting the big cats with hounds. He says recent studies have shown that hunting with hounds is effective from a population control perspective, but also changes the behavior of the big cats. Other methods of hunting are just not effective. I thought it was only with hounds. That's basically where the hounds run the cougar up a tree, and it's just pew. Um, let's see. Is there anything else? Whoa, what's going on here? Um, Conflict with large carnivores results in real threats to human interests and safety. The study involved approaching about 50 GPS collared cougars in Penn Orel, Stevens, and Spokane counties. Yes, this seems like it's over in eastern Washington. The big cats were first approached by researchers with loudspeakers broadcasting a podcast at 80 decibels, about the level of a conversation among several people. That'll freak them. Well, you would think it would freak them out, but apparently it doesn't. Then 39 were hazed, or not hazed, well, yeah, chased, hazed with hounds. A dozen were not hazed and served as the control group with which to compare the cats that were hazed. The idea was to see if cougars could be conditioned to stay away from humans. Those that were chased with dogs moved further away more quickly than those that were not chased. Probably because what's running in their minds that they're being chased by a pack of wolves, which theoretically they are, because dogs are a subspecies of wolf. But yeah, that's probably what it is. In contrast, the control group displayed a habituation response, allowing humans to approach closer during subsequent trials. The study evaluating the efficacy of aversive conditioning of mountain lions with hounds. Study recommends further critical study of using hounds to haze mountain lions to see if it can keep cougars away from people. I honestly think they're smart enough to know that they can take down, an 800-pound, antlerless moose, or usually though, like a maybe a 5 or 600-pound elk, they can take down a human. So, 2024 attack described a January 5th New York Times Magazine story told of two brothers. Oh yeah, this thing in Northern California that were attacked by a 90-pound cat. He was only 90 pounds, or pushing 40 kilograms, killing one brother and severely injuring the other. Sheesh. In 2022, a 9-year-old girl in Stevens County was attacked by a cougar while playing hide and seek at a camp near Fruitland. She survived. In 1998, a 5-year-old child was attacked near a campground in Medellin Falls. Attacks on people and especially fatalities are rare. Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife reports that Washington cougars have killed 2 people and injured at least 20 in the last 100 years. Well, it's definitely higher than certain areas, but I'm also thinking of places where cougars just aren't that abundant. Washington Department Fish and Wildlife police officer Severin Erickson says other animals such as black bear and moose have more reported human attacks than cougars. The difference is that when a black bear attacks, it is usually defensive. When a cougar attacks, it's predatory. There are instances of black bears being predatory. For some reason, tends to be just pushed away. So yeah, black bears, cougars, brown bears. Who am I thinking of? Even bobcats and lynxes will occasionally be predatory. There are instances where just even suburban neighborhoods, bobcats will come in and just attack people. Question is, was it sick? Like, did it have rabies and was just over aggressive? But there seems to be certain instances where lynx, which are basically a northern species of bobcats, are a southern species of lynx. Um, but they will just instinctively attack people. Okay, is there anything else going on here? That seems to be it. Woo! Wow. Probably the reason why there's so many attacks over in California with cougars is because California has a massive carnivore problem. Different regions, there are too few of the herbivores, especially the mule deer, to compensate for the cougars, coyotes, and now the incoming wolves that are coming in from Oregon. They've already established in North California for a few years, but they are increasing. So, moving forward from KUOW.org, Washington woman attacked by a bear says her dogs provoked the incident, then came to her rescue. Well, judging by the picture, I'm guessing this is over in Eastern Washington. I'm wondering, it could be a black bear. Oh, doesn't seem too badly injured. So this is by Kettle Falls. It was late in the morning and the heat was building outside Kettle Falls, Washington, when Lynn O'Connor came face to face with the bear. She had been out walking her dogs on her property in a rural northeast corner of Washington state near the panhandle of Idaho and the border with Canada, about 70 miles north of Spokane. O'Connor has 2 dogs, and neighbor's dog regularly joins them on a daily walks through fields at the edge of the Colville National Forest. They started chasing something in the field, and I thought it was cows because they do that. They chase the cows. Turned out it wasn't a cow, it was a bear. Oh, yeah. Yep, it's Eastern Washington. Good photo. The bear came around a patch of brush about 6 feet behind O'Connor and headed in her direction. All of a sudden, we were face to face on the trail. She started huffing and gruffing and swiping with her claws. Is this a brown bear in the area? Because brown bears also used to cover Washington State, and I think there have been sightings in the Colville National Forest area. Also, it could be a handful, maybe not even coming in from British Columbia, or maybe Alberta, Canada, but even neighboring Idaho. There's a small population of grizzly bears over in Idaho, maybe 100 to 110 individuals, and they continuously make their presence known. Let's see. Also, they're focused in the northern region. So let's see. Um, this could be a black bear, though. It's very possible, but judging by the description of the attack, O'Connor, a retired backcountry ranger, tried to remember everything you're supposed to do when encountering a bear. She tried to make herself look bigger. She yelled at the bear. She slowly started backing away, but the bear kept advancing toward her. She remembered hearing a CBC broadcast that someone had successfully fended off a grizzly bear by punching it in the nose. Either that grizzly was a wimp or that was a small grizzly. I don't know. Or that person just had a lot of power in their punches. Who knows? So I thought, okay, I'll give that a try. Oh no. She punched the bear in the nose, but still it didn't stop advancing. Wow. The fact that you connected is impressive. I mean, the animal is probably coming at you at 30 miles an hour and you're able to um, just connect.
The fact that she was able to punch the bear without the bear taking her down seems a little strange.
Um, yeah, well, we don't know. At that point, O'Connor said she knew an attack was imminent. She dropped to the trail and folded herself into a ball. Oh, she watched without a paddle. She was on top of me, and I think what happened then was swipe, swipe, swipe. And then my dogs were on her and chased her away, and everything was over. She said the entire encounter probably lasted no more than 10 to 15 seconds. That's a long 10 to 15 seconds. O'Connor stood up and looked across the field. I saw her cub chasing the whole group of dogs, and bear, and then I realized what she was doing. Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife officials respond to the scene. O'Connor was flown by helicopter to Spokane, where she was treated for her injuries. As a retired ranger familiar with policies related to bear attacks, O'Connor knew what state officials would do next. I told them, don't kill her. Please don't kill her. She was just trying to do what mama bears do. State officials spent the afternoon hunting for the bear with hound dogs, but the temperature skyrocketed to near 100 degrees after one of the dogs collapsed from the heat. They called off the search. Jeez. Wow. How dare you? Um, Even though the search was suspended, state officials did shoot a bear on O'Connor's property the following day. O'Connor said it was not the same bear that attacked her.
So it got shot anyway.
Yeah. Wow. Um, yeah, look at this guy. He's painting. Oh, wait, Kodiak. Let me guess. The energy from the name Kodiak made this dog think he was a large Kodiak brown bear. So it's like, I can take you. Anyway, a dog owned by one of Lynn O'Connor's neighbors in northeastern Washington. Does my nose look good? Anyway, O'Connor, so this was September 1st, 2024. O'Connor blames herself for not making more noise and for being too casual about being in a wild area that she has grown so familiar with. That's why I talk about safety for the wildlife. Since I put her in danger, some other bear got shot. O'Connor said she just went on her first walk after the attack Wednesday. She said family members are more willing to walk with her in the wake of the attack. Yeah, that is the thing. Is the problem is it's like when you get attacked by a bear, except for this recent occurrence that happened over in British Columbia, but um, likely the government will come in at least shoot one bear. And sometimes, like, if she has cubs, they'll take them out too.
So will the dog get charged for the murder of the bear for causing the issue?
I don't know. I actually wonder about that too. She now makes her dogs wear bells, so they're more likely to scare off bears before they get too close. Yes, those have great energy.
So they're cow bears now. I mean, cow dogs.
Yeah, I think they already were. I don't mind seeing bears because they usually run away, but I'm kind of okay with not seeing one for the rest of the season. It has black bear safety, but not brown bear safety. That's funny. Anyway, let's go to the next one. So, from the University of Saskatchewan, what do we have here? In Wapusk National Park, Dr. Doug Clark kneels in front of a polar bear den on May 2023. These majestic bears, such as this one photographed by Clark's remote cameras in 2021, have dens more than 100 kilometers further north than were previously documented. Wow. Okay, this sounds interesting. So, the University of Saskatchewan researchers discover swath of previously undocumented polar bear dens. Scientists from the University of Saskatchewan have identified several polar bear dens while performing grizzly bear research. Interesting. It's almost like in paleontology when certain other paleontologists are looking for a specific proto mammal or reptile, and they happen to come upon certain dinosaurs, or they're looking for certain dinosaurs and they come upon a marine reptile. Changes. Dr. Doug Clark, PhD, has crawled into many polar bear dens as a graduate student and in a former job as a park warden. So many, in fact, that when Clark and his group of researchers identified a large number of previously undocumented dens north of Churchill, Manitoba, more than 100 kilometers further north than any other documented polar bear dens, he knew they belonged to polar bears. We knew these were polar bear dens for a couple of reasons. One, they were in peat deposits, but more to the point, we found polar bear hair. University of Saskatchewan has a long tradition of excellence in polar bear research. And Clark said finding these new dens was positive for both researchers and for polar bear populations. The discovery was recently published in paper in Arctic Science. So, for those of you that don't know, Saskatchewan is over in Canada and is just west of the province of Manitoba, which has the population of polar bears over in Churchill, also the western Hudson Bay population. They also coexist with grizzly bears and black bears in the area. University of Saskatchewan has oh, wait, hold on a second. To me, it's a cause for excitement. There's a lot of legitimate concern about this specific population of polar bears in western Hudson Bay. The discovery of the dens was completely by chance. Clark, an associate professor in the University of Saskatchewan School of Environment and Sustainability and the acting executive director of the school, was in northern Manitoba. Of course you were, as part of a research project tracking grizzly bear expansion in the area. It's home to the subspecies of grizzly bear known as the barren ground grizzly bears. Um, it can be a bit aggressive, but also quite elusive, and they are somewhat coming back to the region. He said they identified what appeared to be a series of polar bear dens during a helicopter flight, which they were able to then confirm along the Caribou River and Seal River. That's a very good combination. Polar bears have a bigger bag of tricks than we usually give them credit for. Even though figuring out what's going on is complicated, seeing polar bears do something like this, whether we've overlooked it or whether it's new or not, they're doing something that we, the conventional scientific narrative, did not expect. Polar bears in this population's main denning area, 120 kilometers south of these newly described dens, will travel an average of 50 to 80 kilometers inland to build dens in permafrost underlain river and lake banks. As Clark puts it, pregnant polar bears and female polar bears with cubs will travel so far, at least in part to avoid males, because large males will eat cubs. Well, here's the thing, female polar bears, they don't even like having their cubs around other females with cubs. And in some cases, they get into as bad of altercations with the male, but usually they're able to scare off the other female with her cubs, whereas the male, too close, and yes, he'll eat the cubs. Um, anyway, while these dens may have been new to the researchers, they weren't new to the community. Clark said upon their return, many Churchill residents confirmed they'd seen the tracks of polar bears with cubs in spring heading out to the sea ice from inland along those rivers. Thanks to this insight from community members, the researchers believe that some of these dens were maternity dens where females would go to give birth. Other dens may simply have been used temporarily for keeping cool during the area's brief but hot summers. I'm honestly surprised that these or this area has been found with dens. I mean, like it's just been recently found with dens. I thought like this simply wasn't new. This isn't a new discovery. Clark said it's not yet clear how long the newly identified dens had been there for. Some dens further south have been dated as older than 250 years. Like, it hasn't changed? How do they know that? Maybe certain people in the area, I guess, have lived there for hundreds of years already knew? Wow. This is important regardless of whether the dens are new or not. If they're new, then something's changing, but if they're not, then there may be a chunk of this population of bears that's been overlooked in studies so far. Many of these new dens are located within indigenous protected area honored by the Seal River Watershed Alliance. Stephanie Throssi, the executive director of the SRWA, and the connections between researchers and communities play an important role. Um, so yeah, it sounds like they just already knew that they were there. They just hadn't mentioned it. Okay, well, that was quite interesting to see. I didn't realize bear dens, specifically polar bear dens, could stay intact for this long. What are they digging into? I'll have to look more into that. Anyway, let's head to the next article from yahoo.com. Resident captures video of dangerous interaction between family dog and wild bear. We didn't know what to do. Oh, I see. Where does this happen? Florida? There's around 6 to 7,000 black bears in the state of Florida. Guessing some that's not a hound. Can't tell what it is. Let's see. The South Dakota. Oh, huh. Okay, well, I was wrong. The South Dakota Game Fish and Parks Department confirmed 2 black bear sightings near a popular recreational area in mid June, sparking concerns among residents. As Keloland News reported, the bears responded roaming along the shores of Pelican Lake, located near Watertown, about an hour and a half north of Sioux Falls. So this is over in northeastern South Dakota. This is interesting. They're not usually mentioned over here, but they do pop up when it comes to the black bears. And yes, you used to have brown bears historically in this area too. A video shared by local David Duck showed one of the bears getting dangerously close to his dog, and he said the bear merely seemed curious rather than threatening. Nonetheless, it was an unsettling situation, considering bears weigh hundreds of pounds and can easily hurt or kill smaller animals. This individual doesn't look that big. Maybe he's somewhere around, I don't know, 140 pounds, maybe slightly larger. I can't tell. Here he looks much larger, but it's just a side view. And here, maybe maybe he's like 2.5 years old. If it's a he, I'm guessing it's a male. Okay, so luckily both animals walked away unharmed. The bear was spotted again further down the lake at the end of a dock where locals were fishing. Thankfully, a boater passed by and called attention to the bear before it had a chance to do any harm. He saw us for sure. We didn't know what to do. Once again, the bear walked away shortly after, but the group was shaken up and shocked to see a bear at the lake, as black bear sightings are quite rare in the area. In my 40s, I've never heard of a bear around here. Oh, I think that's it. Okay, so that's funny. Sometimes black bears, it's like that they know that the dog is going to annoy them, or maybe there's a coalition of dogs, but it decides to intervene anyway because it can't either resist the smell of somebody's snacks or mm,
It just wants to play with the dog.
yeah, it seems that way sometimes. But then he forgets how long wolves can stay playful for. It's like, okay, I just wanted like a couple of high paws, and that's it. Instead of high fives. Anyway. From mlive.com. Michigan Cougar Cubs confirmed alive in century first milestone. Let's see what's going on here. An adult cougar walks down a trail in the Upper Peninsula, followed by 2 cougar cubs on December 6th, 2025. Wow, okay, so this was um, fairly recent. The DNR verified this photo from a private trail camera by enhancing the image to verify the existence of the 3 cougars, including the cub bringing up the rear. So let's see. Ontonagon County, Michigan. 2 cougar cubs found this spring in the Upper Peninsula remain alive and traveling with their mother. A confirmation that Michigan wildlife officials say represents a historic milestone for natural reproduction. And it's still winter. Winter just began. In fact, December 6th is fall. Um, unless it's referring to earlier in the year about something. Michigan Department of Natural Resources said Thursday, December 18th, that a trail camera photo taken this month shows an adult female cougar walking down a snowy trail in central Ontonagon County, followed by 2 juvenile cougars estimated to be roughly a year old. The same cubs were first documented in early March when motorists photographed 2 small kittens along a western Upper Peninsula road. This is a historic confirmation for Michigan since it is the first time in over 100 years that verified cougar reproduction has occurred east of the Mississippi River and possibly even east of the Missouri River. Well, that might be true because really the only well documented population east of not east of the Missouri River. Thinking west of both these rivers is the Florida panther population, but this is did I mix up my directions? I mixed up east and west. Okay, so this is true.
Looking at me and asking that, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's just the Florida panther population, which unfortunately is experiencing a lot of inbreeding. But Um, they have taken in cougars from West Texas and moved them to the area, but even that is only giving so much genetic variety. Anyway, let's keep going. Until this year, genetic testing and other evidence indicated that nearly all confirmed cougars in Michigan were transient adult males believed to have traveled east from established populations in the western states. Um, I think there is a lot of there are certain pairs or reproducing cougars in different states east of like especially the western part of the different Midwest states. So west of or east of places like Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. So let's see. The presence of cubs confirms at least one breeding female is now on the landscape, though officials say that doesn't mean Michigan has an established breeding population. Cougars are native to Michigan, but let's see. The DNR has confirmed about 168 cougar sightings since 2008. Well, I mean, considering probably focused on the Upper Peninsula, but I bet they're in the southern part of Michigan as well. So in that glove-shaped area, I'm guessing there has to be more. There must be more reproductive females. But I'm also surprised that that's all of the sightings. Although it says most of them are of the same animal being reported by multiple sources. All confirmed sightings have been in the Upper Peninsula. Cougar sightings have been increasing in recent years alongside the proliferation of trail cameras. This marked the third consecutive year of record high cougar sightings in Michigan. As of late November, the DNR had confirmed 26 sightings statewide in 2025. Wow. Oh, that's good to see. But most of those, however, were in the Upper Peninsula. They're bound to be at least the northern part of the southern region of the state. The state verified the first confirmed vehicle collision. Oh, that's sad. With a male cougar on November 15th in northern Houghton County. The DNR said it verified the new cub sighting image after a private landowner submitted a trail camera photo taken December 6th. Biologists enhanced the nighttime image and confirmed the presence of three cougars. The sex of the cubs is unknown. Cougar cubs typically stay with their mother for up to 2 years, and Roel said their chances of survival are relatively high because female cougars invest heavily in raising their young. I haven't heard of somebody mention that cougar cubs have a high rate of survival. In the western states, it's definitely a different look. They have to deal with very dense populations of coyotes. Not that they don't exist over in the eastern states as well, but, it's also wolves in certain areas, even bears, they'll go after cougar cubs. Who else? I mean, certain cases, even eagles or certain hawks will go after them too. So it's oh, even the herbivores, that's something else, people usually leave out. Deer, elk, moose, bison, pronghorn, it goes for whitetail and mule deer as well. They will kill the cubs intentionally too. They'll kill bear cubs, they'll kill wolf pups.
Is that for self-preservation?
Um, you most likely, and it's also they like, wiping out the predators too, and they simply don't wanna be eaten. The absence of an adult cougar in March had raised concerns about their survival. He's surprised the kittens weren't seen on any other trail cameras since this spring. These kittens will stay with their mom through this winter and possibly even to next winter. Cougar cubs will stay with their mothers for, somewhere between 2 to 3 years. Wow, this is the cougar cub that was seen earlier in the year, and he's still alive. So that's really good to see. Wow, I'm proud of this little guy. Okay, so let's see.
Why
S
does it look more like a lynx or a bobcat or something?
they are more closely related to the lynx and or the different lynx species as opposed to lions, tigers. They're very far off in the, Felidae tree.
No, I meant when they're cubs.
Oh,
Is it like, camouflage?
Oh, it is to help with camouflage, which is odd considering in some instances, I think the adults have better camouflage, but that's maybe because they tend to hide their cubs in specific areas. So within that specific proximity where they're keeping their cubs, it's to help benefit them. in that specific area, whereas the adults, they need it for a much larger expanse of land. Um, yeah, it's good to point out. Let's see. Um, anything else? I think that's it. Okay, let's head over to the next article. That's really good to see. I'm glad that cougar is still alive. Um, from newschannel9.com, Tennessee wildlife officials warn of rising black bear encounters as population grows. Oh, is he grabbing onto something there? Tennessee. This ought to be fun. Bear sightings have become more common with several in Hamilton County over the last few years. Now, the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency is warning residents about increased interactions with black bears as the state's population continues to grow. There's just getting to be lots more bears than there used to be, you know? There's been intensive management practices too, try to benefit the bears. It's been extremely successful.
Wait a
What does
minute,
it mean
weren't they
by
just
management?
killing the bears somewhere else?
Well, it was Washington, but I'm not exactly sure what's referring to by this management. So I think there's a bit more than 6,000 black bears within Tennessee. They're mostly concentrated within the eastern part of the state, though they are occasionally seen in the eastern parts of where Memphis is, Nashville center right in the middle. We have Gatlinburg, which is the black bear capital of the United States. Um, over in the very eastern part, which is also adjacent to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, which is the eastern areas in western North Carolina, the western areas over in eastern Tennessee. Not good habitat though. It's terrible. Um, which is odd considering it's like the most visited national park within the United States. I think around 6 to 7 million people each year visit Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Bears are recolonizing their historical range, not just from East Tennessee, but from Kentucky and Arkansas and Mississippi's populations. Well, it's a bit slower with Mississippi. I think there might be somewhere between 200 to 300 black bears in all of Mississippi. Alabama, slightly larger population.
Wait, how many are here in Texas?
There's been a lot more sightings over in East Texas. West Texas has a population of somewhere between 100 and 120 bears. They're also being spotted a lot more often or at least along the Rio Grande, all the way down to McAllen. But sometimes they come back and forth from Mexico. Total, I'm going to guess there's somewhere between 200 to 250 bears within the state, with the other half being in East Texas and, like, making it close to, like, the, Conroe, Houston area they're approaching.
So Florida needs to send us some bears.
We could ask Arkansas too. They have about, just as many. But, yeah, Florida, they're a bit bigger there because they have access to more, um, garbage. State data shows bears are now spreading far beyond Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Oh, yeah. I mean, even when you're looking at North Carolina, they practically now cover the whole state. There's about 20,000 black bears in North Carolina, which is why I think this estimate for the population of Tennessee might be a bit low. And then over to the north, like Kentucky, I believe is somewhere between 8,000 to 11,000 black bears.
Wait a minute, how many did you say in the other state?
20,000. Yeah, North Carolina. It's immense. And they become huge the further east, like, especially along the coast, like, with the Alligator River National Wildlife Refuge. There's the town of Plymouth that tends to have a annual black bear festival, and it's because the bears, they're feeding a lot of crops in the region, and they become huge, like, over 650-pound or, 300 and 20-pound 320 kilogram individuals in the area. But this is by the fall. It's like September, October when they're getting massively obese. Anyway, Sims says there's often one reason bears move closer to people, keeping garbage where bears can't get to it. Well, it's not just the garbage, it's also they take advantage of crops, just like deer will take advantage of certain cornfields during the fall. Um, but sometimes they'll go after other herbs as well. But that's also what the bears are feeding on. Sometimes they'll even rob cattle feed. I mean, it's just, it's like bait, it's like free food for them. In 2024, TWRA received 1,700 emergency calls related to black bears. How much do you want to bet that most of those are coming from eastern Tennessee? Like, you're camping. with 25% of those calls being garbage related. A lot of those other things happening because of garbage is kind of where it starts. Um,
So are they fighting with the raccoons?
oh, yeah, definitely. That's where the bear gets comfortable. That's where the bear starts to feel good around people, and these other things start to happen. I don't think he's feeling physically good. Let's see. I want to take a look right here. I mean, especially you have it where, they're opening people's doors. I'm just shocked that people are leaving their doors unlocked in an area with, dense populations of bears. They can even lions can open doors over in Africa. So always well, I guess the problem is you have in areas where in Churchill, Manitoba, over in Canada with the polar bears, it's illegal to lock your
That's a
door.
small bear.
Yeah, that looks like a cub, and I
Mm.
wonder what it was. Ottawa, Tennessee. Uh, sounds like a Florida name, but don't know where this is located. Doesn't seem to be hilly, so I'm guessing maybe central Tennessee somewhere. Yeah, it's illegal to lock your door because somebody might need to escape a polar bear, so you have to leave your doors unlocked. Let's see. The TWRA advises residents to lock food in cars and use bear-resistant containers for garbage storage. Let's see. Now we've got a pro-grow state, which is wonderful, but our human bear contact comes at a cost. I'm guessing that means a number of people are pro, like, increasing the black bear population? That's just my guess. The agency's black bear program says they have to find new solutions to this increase in interactions. I, I don't think you can. Why? It's okay for populations to be stable as well. I mean, that's not a problem. The reason I show you this chart is just to make the point that we have a lot of hunting pressure on our bears. In Tennessee, we kill a lot of bears. We hunt a lot of things. As I'm not against it, but it comes to a point where I just don't want to read about it. Okay, this bear was spotted in Epson. He seems healthy. It's probably what summer. Looks hot. Okay, let's see. They say relocating the bears has a very low success rate. I'm guessing they just head right back. Why would I stay in this um, empty forest habitat when I can just head over and grab some?
Twinkies?
Uh, I hope not. But they do rob Dollar Tree, Dollar General. Who else? Occasionally, other smaller businesses. Oh, they'll go. Yeah, they will go into candy stores, like especially Gatlinburg. That is seen. And you can tell this guy walks in, and because they have such a great sense of smell, they have no idea what to choose, but their heart's saying, "I shouldn't do this." This is Syrian brown bear food. We're not supposed to eat this.
I wonder if they rob honey farms.
Um, oh, yeah, definitely. But, black bears in general, it's not that they don't like the honey, they love the honey as well, but they mainly want the bees that are making the honey, especially
Oh,
Eurasian.
wait, they eat the bees?
Oh, yeah. There's a ton of protein, even calories that they're getting from the bees. Not sure what other nutrients they're getting from the insects, but and then the honey definitely adds extra calories and fat for them.
I don't understand. How do they don't get stung in their mouth when they're doing that?
They do. You can tell when they're eating the colony and, eating the honey, they're constantly twitching, and that's from them getting stung.
But they have no reaction to the stings,
No,
apparently.
not really. I mean, they just keep eating. I haven't really seen it with wasps or things like mud daubers, which is basically a very docile
But do
species.
mud daubers even sting?
Oh, yeah, they do, but it's just that you literally have to be, I'm guessing, squishing them for that to occur. Let's see. It's kind of like with red wasps. So this map is a 19 square mile area from a research project, and each one of those colors is a different bear. Oh, wow. So bear movements in the Pigeon River Gorge and interactions with I-40. This is adjacent, I believe, to Gatlinburg. So it's right adjacent to the Smoky Mountains. And the Smoky Mountains are also nearly the most southern tip of the Appalachian mountain range in the eastern United States, which technically extends all the way to southern Quebec over in Canada. So, technically, the southern tip of the Appalachian Mountains is over in northeastern Alabama. So let's see.
I was trying to blow up the map, but it won't let me.
Um, so removing the bear really doesn't prevent future conflict, and it doesn't help the person experiencing conflict. Uh, yeah, it just seems that they're moving continuously. Wow, we don't. Okay, what's it? 19 square miles. Oh, well, it seems to be maybe in this specific area they're finding a lot more food, so their territories aren't very large. That's something that we're noticing. Oh, so that's it. Yeah, why would you move if you have um, access to quite a bit of food? So let's head over to the next article. So from abcnews.go.com, California homeowner says 550-pound black bear is living under his house. According to the homeowner, the bear has damaged a gas line under the home. Wow. Okay. So it's what a 250-kilogram individual. Hmm. Okay. What's happening? There he is. Wow. Yeah. There it is. He's definitely fat too. He has access to a lot of food. This seems to be the case with bears adjacent to different populated areas in California, which I mean, I guess is not surprising, but they always seem well fed. It's like you'd think some of these individuals living in the Angeles National Forest, which is just east of the um,
Just watch him try to climb out of there.
yeah, Los Angeles area, that they would be a bit thinner, and they're not. They're taking advantage of everything around. And it seems to be much more often where they're hibernating or ruminating, as you would say, with bears under people's houses. The fact that it can fit in there, that thing is round. Wow. Yeah. And it's a densely populated area too. This has gone on long enough, and it's something that they should deal with. It's a tag bear. They dealt with it before. Choose not to euthanize, and it's now committed to helping this homeowner and have never indicated otherwise. Okay, so it's so it sounds like a dragon. Bear living under house won't leave. Talk about an unwanted house guest. According to one homeowner in Altadena, California, the black bear has been living in the crawl space under his home for over a month. He doesn't regret it one bit. Look at that face. Ken Johnson, he's like, um, yeah, he's like, I have civil rights. You can't do anything. Um, Ken Johnson, 63, the owner of the house, told KABC that the 550-pound bear sounds like a dragon and scares him. The bear even damaged the gas line, causing him to have to shut off the gas. So, wow. Did he light a match or something? And then I could see that. I thought he'd be long gone by now. It's unnerving. I think the longer he's there, the more comfortable he's going to be, and this won't end.
I don't think anybody will be breaking into his house.
Yeah, he owns the place. You can tell he's just taking a relaxed pace as he's walking. There's nothing you can do. Court Clapping, a spokesperson for the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, told ABC News that the agency has been working with Johnson to remedy the situation. Despite very limited staff, CDFW biologists have been in constant communication with his homeowner since this bear was reported entering his unsecured crawl space in November. We remain committed to helping this homeowner and have never indicated otherwise. Um, okay. Um,
Oh, is it the bear saying he's there to help the homeowner?
Yeah, it probably is. He's the horticulture specialist. So he deals with the plants. Let's see. Um, this is funny. According to the CD, California Division of Fish and Wildlife, thousands of black bears are spotted every year in the state. However, the threat to residents is low. That's funny. Presently, the statewide black bear population estimated to be between 49,000 to 71,000. Okay, I knew I'd seen numbers between 40 to 50,000. 71? What? Okay, they're where are they getting their food? Because they make it out like California people are starving. If you have this many bears and that many people, there's food coming from somewhere. And they're as fat as this guy. Look at him. Oh, okay. If you view this does not make you believe, well, at least right here, people are starving. Okay. The Bear League, a California nonprofit dedicated to protecting bears. You've got possibly 71,000 bears and you're concerned about their existence? That homeowners should secure their crawl spaces in the winter to deter ursine visitors. Ursine referring to the family of mammals, bears. Bears are experts in fitting into the smallest of openings under houses and decks. And once they're in, they make themselves at home, which can result in thousands of dollars in damage. Yeah, no kidding. Um, yeah, so it's snakes, coyotes are getting to people's homes, bears. Who cannot
So if he secures the space, happens to leave a window open,
well, I mean, they did say they're welcome that they're willing to welcome, other never mind. Anyway, I love this coexistence with the bears. Let's keep going. From Katu.com. Cougar seen in the middle of Oregon City. Police urge caution over big cat encounters. Well, this looks like a healthy individual. So where's this cougar? Oh, Oregon City. Is this in Oregon? Yep. A mountain lion was seen in the middle of Oregon City on New Year's Day, and police officials are warning people about the potentials and what to do if you encounter one. Oregon City police said Friday morning that the big cat was captured on surveillance video along Lettere Street several times within the last 24 hours. They released an image of the nearby neighborhood near Singer Creek Park, which sits between Malala, Lynn, and Pleasant Avenues. The department is working with the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife and asks anyone who sees a cougar to report it to 503 such and such. A cougar was euthanized several months ago in the Corvallis area after several sightings in and around the city. Under Oregon law, cougars posing a threat to human safety may be lethally removed. Wow. It's interesting. I was expecting the complete opposite from Oregon. I thought, no, you can't touch it. Same thing for California. Maybe it is California I'm confusing it with. The Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife emphasizes that um, euthanasia is a last resort, undertaken only after careful consideration. State wildlife officials note that cougar attacks on livestock are not uncommon, often involving younger cougars or females with dependent young. Oregon is cougar country with more than 6,000 of the big cats statewide, according to Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife. So, oh, is that it? Was there a video? No. Oh, well. Hmm. Oh, that's a weird one. Oh, wow. So, okay. So, really was in the middle of a suburb. It's quite interesting. Is that a playground? Hmm, that's pretty neat. I think that's it. Well, I'm glad to see that they're present in the area. From theguardian.com. Colorado authorities suspect mountain lion attack after woman found dead near trail. Whoa. Jeez. What's with these cougars lately? They're just taking over everything. Okay. Well, other hikers had reported seeing the animal near the body and scared away by throwing rocks at it.
that
Uh,
doesn't mean the cougar did it.
I mean, it's certainly possible, but yeah, we don't know. Authorities are investigating a suspected fatal mountain lion attack after a woman was found dead on a hiking trail in Colorado on Thursday. A news release on Thursday, Colorado Parks and Wildlife said, okay, it was on the Crozier Mountain Trail in unincorporated Larimer County at around 12:15 p.m. local time on Thursday. The hikers, it scared them. Um, CPW officers, along with Larimer County Sheriff deputies, Estes Park Police, and Glen Haven area volunteer firefighters responded to the area and conducted an extensive search for mountain lions. So this is a heavily tourist area, um, especially when you're seeing, yeah, Glen Haven, Estes Park. That's where all the elk are usually spotted, at least in central Colorado. One lion was located at the scene and shot, and it ran from the area. The lion was later located and it was euthanized. The second mountain lion was then discovered nearby and also euthanized. Yeah, that's the problem is that usually they don't know which mountain lion, if it did it, um, committed the crime. And a lot of time, just random other cougars are shot. And this can happen with bears too, wolves.
So the same states that say we need to save everything are the ones killing everything.
I kind of blame it on all of them, but yeah. The news release states that pathologists will perform a necropsy on the animals, checking for abnormalities and neurological diseases like rabies and avian influenza. According to Colorado Parks and Wildlife, mountain lion attacks on humans in Colorado are considered to be rare, with 28 previous attacks reported to Colorado Parks and Wildlife since 1990, and the last fatal attack occurred in 1999. I'm surprised that that's it, considering Colorado has a large population of cougars, considering they're mostly concentrated within the central and western part of the state. The rest of the state is simply eastern plains. It's not very good habitat for cougars. There's also not a lot of food available. I mean, there are certain mule deer and whitetail herds, but that's pretty much it. You tend to have it where now a bit more, well, okay, I might have been a bit off on that, considering they are moving into Kansas, which is just um, east of the state of Colorado. But no, it's problem is, yeah, these types of things. Um, oh, that was it. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah, that's the problem. We don't they didn't even mention if they looked at the body, okay, it bit the throat. Yeah, probably was mountain lion. We don't even know if it was a cougar. Colorado Parks and Wildlife just went out there and killed a couple of cougars.
Well, they're saying because they saw it near the body.
Yeah, that's what sheesh.
The person could have just had a heart attack.
Okay, so um uh, yeah, did they even say there was blood or anything?
No, they didn't say anything about it. At least you didn't read anything about it.
I Sheesh. Wow. Okay. So cougars. Now, I think there was a couple cases where black bears killed people in Colorado, but that I would have to confirm too, because was that an instance where somebody saw a black bear near the body as well, like with this instance with the cougar? Um, and
Well, it's
also,
like the other bear that attacked the woman. It wasn't the bear's fault. The bear was being harassed.
oh yeah, right, over in Washington. Yeah, that's interesting, and it happened to be a former ranger too, or, warden. I forget what the difference is.
I think it was a ranger.
Well, yeah, so this is, just mere a lot of animal deaths. Okay, well, at least the cougars, trying to remember which article was it or which state, was it? Was it Washington where the cougars are being much more, bold with people, or was it I'm trying to remember exactly. I don't think it was the Michigan one. Was it North Dakota? Maybe that's where it was occurring. Um, I mean, here's the thing. There's been footage coming from people in different areas like Colorado, I think even Texas, all over the United States where cougars are being quite bold. I mean, the cat is a bit of a mix when it comes to just how um brave it is against especially people. It's like it has a mixture of being something like jaguar, a lion, and then as skittish as a cheetah. So, I mean, it is more closely related to the cheetah. But this was interesting. I mean, it's good to see those black bear sightings occurring over in the different parts of the Midwest, especially over in North Dakota. And I think we had one, well, not including that Alaskan brown bear incident. That was funny with the female coming over while there was a mascot, and it was interesting. It's almost like she saw the mascot, and you would think with that freaky of a display, which at least you would think it would appear freaky to the bear, and it didn't. In fact, it went over and thought, "Wait a second. Either you are something that I've never seen before, or it's another human in this costume, and I'm familiar with it," because you have to think of the thousands of years that different tribes around the world have had their different display costumes. And it's honestly nothing new to the animals, which is probably why, though, except the tigers over in India, it, they have seen the different, costumes that they've worn in the country for years. Yet you can still put a mask behind your head, and the tiger just and just runs away. Um,
Well, maybe the bear itself just ran up to it because it looked threatening.
um, Yeah, but it didn't even have, like, a threatening sort of, gait to the way the female ran up to the costume. It was more of like a curious, relaxed sort of, "Oh, what's this?"
Well,
And,
maybe it just saw Sonic.
oh, yeah, had to go fast, but it ran over, and probably what happened was it smelled the person inside the costume and then just kind of lost curiosity. It was like, "Oh, okay, I was right. They're nothing new." Um It is interesting. It's almost like you think certain animal individuals check out the people in the area, and they just confirm that it's just another person. So, but that is interesting. So, but yeah, these cougar incidents are. I think what's more interesting to see is that they're just marching in these different areas. So, hope you enjoyed this live stream. And from prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. This is Creature Guy Live Daily News. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. If you love talking about animals, and share this show with everyone you know, because nothing's better than all animals all the time.